Greetings and welcome to episode 215 of the Words About Gamescast, a weekly video game podcast for words about games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, and joining me to talk about video games and not spend 6 minutes talking about Formula One while I press record thinking we were going to start the episode is the glorious one himself, Hot Tuna, Mr. Daffin Mooney.
Doodly doodly do, Amy.
I was in the Air Cadets and they taught me how to salute properly. I can't do it here because there's not enough space.
Yeah, you have to go like that.
You go around, and then you go straight down.
Yeah, we don't do it in America.
No. The other thing they taught me was marching, and I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't keep it, the rhythm. At all. Of, like, because you have to move your leg and your arm at the same time. And I was like, nah, I can't do it. I tried so hard. And got so far. But in the end, Moody, it doesn't even matter. How are you?
I'm not gonna lie, it's been a week and a half, as you do know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's been a bit of a week, I won't lie. Things are alright, I won't deny that. I won't get into it here, but yeah, things are alright now and everything, but no, yeah. It has been a bit of a week this week for me.
Hugs and solidarity, Mooney. I actually want to send some appreciation your way as a co-host of this podcast, because I realized something today, actually, was that, like, in years, literal years of doing this podcast, 210, let's say, because I think I missed a few, weeks, and we used to do them fortnightly, so it's been going on a lot longer than people think, and, like, every single week, I had to, like, with, like, previous permanent co-hosts. I shouldn't throw shade at co-hosts who are temporary, or just filling in. But, like, I've had to, like, wrangle people and be like, okay, we're doing it this time. Like, oh, I'm making sure people would turn up and stuff. And I realized today, when I hadn't spoken to you since Friday when we played Apex Legends together, and I realized today that at no point did I tell you to turn up. At no point did I ask if you were turning up. I just knew that you were going to be here. And when I clicked call on Discord, like, you would just, I would see, well, a picture of your wall. I was going to say, I'll see your face. It's like your camera's pointing at your wall, but whatever. Like, and I was like, I want to throw some appreciation for taking, like what, like, people don't get, I don't think people who have been on this podcast before realize there's, like, a major stress of, like, organizing this podcast. And you've just gone and taken that away. And it's like, no, I know you. You're like the Friends theme tune. You'll be there for me. Like, it's a reverse situation of, if you message me to tell, you'll message me to tell me you're not going to be here, instead of me having to chase you to be here. And I wanted to tell you, I really appreciate that, because it takes a lot of stress out of doing this.
It's not a problem. Like I say, I enjoy doing it. And I know the stresses when it comes to, like, trying to organize a podcast, trying to set it all up and everything. Thankfully, I realize, thankfully on my end, for my podcast, like, it has got a lot better. Things might change for that when I start college back up in September, but because whenever I get my schedule and everything. But yeah, it's no, I completely understand, like, that for that, because I hate organizing something and then realizing, oh shit. Is it other people here or something like that? So
when turn up, like, I mean, there's been podcasts before, and I don't think I've ever talked about this on a podcast, but there's been, like, podcasts in the past where it's like, it's come together like 10 minutes before we're recording, and I've had to, like, emergency text, like, everyone I know who will co-host the podcast and be like, can you be on the podcast? And finally getting someone and just being like, this, the relief of, like, doing that. But it's like, yeah, now it's just easy. I just put some show notes together and turn up. That's the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah. That's the thing about it. I'll never leave you in the lurch. I would always, like, at least message you at least the day before to give you a good ample time.
Oh yeah, I completely trusted that. Basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is, you're my favourite podcast Words About Games co-host. Words About Gamescast co-host.
Thank you. Well, that bar wasn't that high to jump over. So
it really wasn't, no.
Loved all the rest, though. They were brilliant as well.
No, actually, I can't say that, because I had my friend Kirsty on in one episode once, a long time ago, and she was awesome too.
And I've never trumped it. I can understand that.
But I mean, like, I'm talking, like, this was 5 years ago. It was like episode 4. that she was on with us.
And the bar was raised so high.
And it was never
That's
going
why
to be
no one
cleared.
else has been able
So
to
it's
get over it.
like, yeah, her name goes up in the Words About Gamescast Hall of Fame. And then, like, we retired a number. And then we moved on and we had to reset the number one. And you've reached that number one.
Oh.
And I'm going to be honest, I didn't chart anyone else. Because I didn't feel like charting it. And I'm suddenly realizing, like, all of the people I'm throwing under the bus. This was just supposed to be a bit to talk shit about Keith, because I know he still watches the podcast, but I'm suddenly realizing I'm throwing other really nice people under the bus. And I didn't mean to. Basically, Moody rocks, Keith sucks. Let's do this.
I love you, Keith.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just kidding. I love you, buddy. You're never coming back, though. This is the Words About Gamescast, where each week we discuss what's been going on in gaming, the games industry, and gaming culture. In this week's episode, we discuss the NPD sales breakdown for June, which will mostly consist of us talking about The Last of Us Part 2. Microsoft is continuing the Xbox One X and all digital models, as well as combining Game Pass Ultimate and xCloud, Sony drastically increasing PS5 production, and more. Then we'll go over all the new game announcements, release dates, and delays that happened over the past week, and I had to add a new category for things, because, yeah, free games, I guess, is a thing. I use the air quotes. Nobody can come at me for saying free games. We also give you a content drop where I recommend some articles you should read and videos you should watch, and if I do say so myself, the content drop this week is really good. We tell you what games are coming out over the next 7 days before playing OpenCritic head-to-head, where we guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. As always, we'll wrap up the show with a post-show discussion and chat about whatever's on our mind. There are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube, so you can watch this podcast in any order you want. You can watch it piecemeal, you can watch certain parts and not watch other parts, or you can watch the whole thing backwards. We don't really mind. We're just glad that you're here. Alright, should we dive into it?
Why not, Amy?
Like,
Why not? Let's talk about the masterpiece that is Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah, Minecraft Dungeons. It's amazing. Or Freak Fit Adventure.
Yeah.
Got to be the fastest climb up the NPD rankings in history. Yeah, let's dive into it as fast as I just dove into this shit when Keith watches this podcast. We've got the NPD Breakdown for June 2020, if anyone doesn't know what this is, because there are people out there who don't know what we talk about once a month. This is basically a company in America that does a breakdown of all the video game sales in America. And it's a good barometer for what games are popular. And it's just interesting to talk about. And we get some really interesting discussions about it. The top 10 best-selling games of June 2020 were, at number 1, The Last of Us Part 2. Do a shot Pikachu face. That's the Home Alone face. Number 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Number 3, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 4, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 5, Mortal Kombat 11. Number 6, Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 7, Ring Fit Adventure, which I should just want to note was previously at number 835 in May. At number 8, NBA 2K20. At number 9, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. At number 10, Minecraft Dungeons. Also, Persona 4 Golden got to number 8 after being re-released on Steam. And again, I just want to note that was previously at number 615. The Last of Us Part 2, I'll go through the note actually, and then we can discuss that list. The Last of Us Part 2 generated the highest launch month dollar sales of any 2020 title released to date. It's the second biggest launch for a Sony-published game in history, trailing only Spider-Man in September 2018. And as Matt Piscatella noted on Twitter, which I didn't write on here, Spider-Man came out at the beginning of September. Last of Us Part 2 came out towards the end of June, like mid-June. So Spider-Man actually had a longer first month, like launch month, than The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
So who knows if they'd both had the same amount of days. What could have happened there? But yeah, the boycott clearly worked, and all the people who were saying, oh, no one's going to buy it because of the leaks. Guess what, Moody?
Yeah.
Everyone bought it.
Yeah, yeah. I bought it.
I
Bought
rented
it.
it.
Okay. No, everyone apart from Amy
Everyone
bought it,
apart
basically.
from me bought it.
Yeah. I've said multiple times on this podcast, and whoever's that have a respectable conversation about it. Last of Us for me is the best game of the year, and it's a masterpiece. I absolutely loved and adored this game. It's incredible to see what it did, and it just going back like to the boycott things. Oh, people tried to boycott Pokemon. It didn't work. I actually think you spurred them on to make it sell better. So I actually think people who say boycott it makes people go and buy it or go and see it, you know what I mean? And all the time. That's what always happens.
It's mind sharing it.
And
everyone was talking about it, so everyone remembered it existed and everyone bought it.
And we all know half the people who said boycott it probably still bought it.
Well, there's that famous screenshot of Steam where there was that Steam group about boycotting. I think it was Black Ops, one of the Black Ops games, and it was like boycott Black Ops was the Steam group, and then like someone took a screenshot of that group, and the members in that group, like after it launched, and most of them were playing Black Ops. And it's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, there will have been people who will have been like really shit people who will have been like, "The Last of Us 2 sucks," and not actually bought it. But I guarantee the majority of people who said that bought the game, played the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt about it. Like I said, I don't care if you don't like the game. That's like I said, that's all subjective, ladies and gentlemen. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, if anyone thought this was not going to sell, and I just love it. I've seen some of them already online saying, it's probably had the most returns ever and all like that.
I'm like, yeah, I remember that.
Seriously, dude? Like, seriously? Just like, seriously. I'm just like,
lots of people have returned it.
Even if it did, let's just say, even if it does have a huge return sale for secondhand and everything like that, Sony still got all the profit. That's it. That's what I'm saying. They've already got your money. So it's not. They don't really care.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
They know they know their games go back in for get traded back in. They know that, and they know they don't get that money when it gets resold by Game or CEX or GameSpot and all like that. They know that, and they don't care, because if they did, they would truly stop secondhand games. But they don't do that, and they're not going to do that for next generation either. So, guys, seriously, shut up. Get over it. You're just whining over it. Nothing, man, for God's sakes. You really are. It's pathetic. And then, like I say, I'll still go back to the thing of, you tried to boycott Pokemon. It did nothing.
You tried to boycott Borderlands. You tried to boycott...
It did nothing.
Was it the NBA game?
I'm not going to lie. I think I hear every year, you must boycott FIFA. You must boycott Call of Duty. And I'm thinking, yeah, you do an amazing job, guys. You do such a fantastic job to boycott these games. Well done.
I feel like the NPD top 10 at the end of every year is just a list of games people try to boycott. But I really like making fun of people who have Last of Us Part 2 opinions that are terrible. Like, if you didn't like Last of Us Part 2 for legitimate reasons, cool. Cool beans, move along. This part is not for you. I'm talking about the people who are like, oh, Abby's got muscles. That's not realistic.
Oh, they're trying to force a gender on us.
Oh my god, The Last of Us I watched.
LGBT community on us. It's tried to force this. It's tried to force that. Oh, it's tried to be show us that violence is terrible. Saying, dude, if you didn't realize violence was already terrible, and it took this video game to show you this, what the fuck in the world? I'm saying that right now to all of you. Seriously, you're wrong in the head if you don't realize violence is bad.
No, I mean, it was a legitimate part of the themes of the game, but it was a part of the themes of the game. It wasn't the only theme of the game. I watched a prominent YouTuber's review of the game. He was shitty in their opinions of the game, like pre-release. And I'll tell you what, it was incredibly entertaining, but not for any of the reasons that YouTuber, like... It was, like, so awful, it was funny. Like... I was amused. And then I watched, and then to like balance the karma of watching that video, I watched girlfriend reviews, both the Last of Us videos like 5 times in a row, because those videos are fantastic.
But also, she has legitimate clams towards the game, but she doesn't shit all over it.
Well,
if you don't like the game, you don't like it over it. But she doesn't go into hateful rage to scream at the developers or Neil Druckmann or Sony to say, why are you doing this for genders and all like that. She just has legitimate claims of why this certain parts of the game don't work for her. And that's perfectly fine. She's still waiting for her money from Neil Druckmann. Well, we all are who give this game a masterpiece.
No, sorry, Moody. I think you would have been due a Neil Druckmann check. But because I was on the spoiler cast with you, and I wasn't a 100% it's a masterpiece positive opinion, I think I cost you that check. And I apologize unreservedly for that, because I had 1 or 2 minor criticisms of the game.
Yeah.
If I'd have known you were getting paid, I would have been, it's a masterpiece, yeah, whatever. And then I would have just quietly put out my own video.
I would give you half of it.
Oh, there's going to be people who see that and just take it so far out of context and be like, see, they get paid. And it's like, dude, we didn't even get review copies of the game. Jog on. Do you know how many review codes I get?
Nobodies.
Do you know how many review codes I get for games that I turn around and then go like, yeah, this is very good? Lots. The codes are so the games get coverage. It's got nothing to do with like trying to get people positive opinions.
And I'll say this one more time. If anyone really is, and I'm looking at all you idiots there, ladies and gentlemen, or if anyone really does believe that the critics, the high-profile critics, get paid to give good reviews, you really are idiotic, because that type of shit would literally be out there. If you're telling me Jason Snyder hasn't sniffed that, if he got a little bit of a sniff of that, he would have been digging so much dirt up on that. There would have been a 10-page freaking masterpiece of an article from Bloomberg or on Kotaku when he was still there. And we all know that, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't exist. Nobody gets paid.
It would be the biggest waste of money ever.
Is that as well?
Because there would be you can spend your money so much better marketing a game than paying people to give it good reviews. Oh God.
But no, let's all give it to the idiots, though, ladies. Let's all give it to the idiots, because they make us laugh. That's the thing. They give us a good old jiggle and a good old laugh, just thinking, Jesus. Really are that clueless.
Jesus, indeed.
You really don't understand the business outside whatsoever. So I'm just like, hey.
This conversation took some turns that I did not expect, but I am wholly appreciative of. Also, Abby is amazing. Don't at me. Should we move on to the top?
Abby is awesome. Awesome.
Should we move on to the top 10? Yeah, dude.
Shout out to all the... Sorry, we did go off on a bit of a tangent, I did. But shout out to the rest of the games out there. Yeah, Call of Duty, yes, we all knew that was going to be there. Animal Crossing still pumping in strong. That is fantastic, amazing.
What else are you going to buy on your Switch?
That's the thing about it. Well, say that to the Ring Fit, because a lot of people bought Ring Fit, it seems. I was one of them.
It finally came back in stock, is what happened. Let's be realistic here.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto, yes, it is a meme. It is a literal meme, because it's not left the top 10, basically.
Just to skip ahead, because the rest of these games are whatever. Sorry, after Animal Crossing, Ring Fit's cool, but number 10, Minecraft Dungeons. Like, we did the Fantasy Game League thing with Russell, where he's like, I picked Minecraft Dungeons because it had Minecraft in the title, and it only got him a couple of points. But it is one of those things where it's like, and I need to have a conversation with Keith about buying a game that came out in early access, which wasn't going to be coming out this year. I need to have words about that, but Minecraft Dungeons selling well. It's like, yeah, it's Minecraft. It's one of the biggest. People will forget Minecraft is one of the biggest game franchises on the motherfucking planet. And it's a good game. We played it on stream and we didn't have a bad time.
Yeah, we had a fun time with it. That's what it's saying. This thing is in Game Pass, yet it is in the top 10, ladies and gentlemen. That's how powerful an IP can be. That's why Call of Duty is so high up all the time. That's why.
I have dedicated days of my life to trying to figure out the Game Pass conundrum of how does a game go into Game Pass and its sales go up? I'm trying to work it out. One day I will. One day, Rooney. One day.
People don't know anything about Game Pass. It must be the casuals who really don't know much about Game Pass. That's the only thing I can think of, really.
Let's move on, because we spent way longer than I thought we were getting on that, which is totally fine. But we've got the best. The top 10 best-selling games yet to date hasn't really changed all that much. Number 1, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Number 2, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 3, The Last of Us Part 2. Number 4, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Number 5, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 6, NBA 2K20. Number 7, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Number 8, MLB The Show 20. Number 9, Resident Evil 3. Number 10, Madden NFL 20. Last of Us Part 2 basically went in at number 3, and everything else went down one.
Apart from Call of Duty and Animal Crossing, because weren't they 1 and 2 last week?
That's what I said. Last of Us went in at 3, and everything else went below it went down.
Oh yeah, you did. You did.
And yeah, COD and Animal Crossing were 1 and 2.
I apologise there, Amy. Again, this is fantastic. Like I said, I'm very intrigued to see how strong The Last of Us Part 2 sales are going to be. There's no doubt about it, because Nintendo games do seem like they have that epiphany to last longer in the sales. I do believe Last of Us Part 2 will be in the top 10 probably by the end of the year.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe being one of the top 10 best-selling games of June.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they do tend to last longer.
It's going to be very interesting to see where it lands in the top 10 by the end of it, but I'm looking out.
Is The Last of Us Part 2 going to be an Animal Crossing where it sticks around? Or is it going to be a Doom Eternal where it sinks without a trace and we never see or hear anything about it ever again?
That's the thing about it, yeah.
Sales-wise. I'm not talking about anything else.
Yeah. Final Fantasy VII sticking in strong there. Animal Crossing sticking in strong. Grand Theft Auto doesn't even know what sticking in is anymore. It's just there. It just expects it to be there. To Kakarot, for me, a terrible game, ladies and gentlemen, but respect to the creators and to the people who love this game and are enjoying it because they keep on buying it and they're doing great things. And Resident Evil 3, both me and Amy, we're very different on this game. She's not the biggest fan of it. I overall enjoyed it. Yes, it's nowhere near RE2 remake, there's no doubt about it, but I had a lot of fun with this and it's still sticking in strong there for everybody. So fantastic. This is amazing news for me.
I can't even lie about the kind of experience I had with Resident Evil 3 because you watched my entire fucking playthrough.
I actually watched it, yeah.
You saw me get angry and frustrated and mad and upset and disappointed. I went through the 5 stages.
Literally, ladies and gentlemen. She stopped at one boss fight. I gotta go stretch my leg.
I gotta walk away.
Walk away for a minute. She didn't come back for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I went through the 5 stages of grief while I was playing that game.
Yeah, you kind of did, yeah. You went through joy.
Resident Evil 3, I rated the original Resident Evil 3, higher than most people did. So it did sting a bit more when Resident Evil 3 Remake was disappointing for me. But then I went back and I streamed Resident Evil 3 and I had a great time and it was fine. I streamed the original and I was like, oh, the original still exists. And it's still great. Awesome. I'm good.
Yeah. That's the good thing about it.
I just wish they'd port the original Resident Evils to Steam so you could get them easily. That would be a dream for me. For 1, 2, and 3 original, it'd just be ported to Steam. Because Capcom would make a lot of money from people like me who would just want easy access to those 3 games.
Yeah, that's true. It's surprising that they've never done that. Oh, excuse me.
I don't know. I think the remakes are good enough. And it's you know what? Remake 1 is my favorite Resident Evil game of all time. And Remake 2 is fantastic. And a lot of people love Remake 3. But it's the remakes, I don't know. It's been the same every time a game's been remade, where it's I kind of also would like to be able to play the original. Yeah. Just because FF7 Remake is amazing doesn't mean I don't also have a really big soft spot in my heart for FF7, my favorite game of all time.
True.
Would like to play that sometimes from time to time, and it's fine because I own it on Steam, but yeah, there are some games where it's I wish I could own this on a platform I can play it on without having to use an emulator. Anyway, let's move on. From the distant past to the near imminent future. Microsoft discontinues Xbox One X and Xbox One S Digital Edition ahead of Series X launch. This is from Tom Warren over at The Verge, who writes, Microsoft is officially halting production of its Xbox One X and Xbox One S all digital edition consoles. Quote, As we ramp into the future with Xbox Series X, we're taking the natural step of stopping production on Xbox One X and Xbox One S All Digital Edition, says a Microsoft spokesperson in a statement to The Verge. So the headline, the first line of the story, and the second line of the story all say the same thing. 3 different times. Thanks, Verge.
Thanks, Tom Warren.
Thanks, Tom Warren. The quote continues, Xbox One S will continue to be manufactured and sold globally. Reports of Xbox One X and Xbox One S shortages have surfaced in recent weeks, and there has been an increased demand in Microsoft and Sony's current-gen consoles during the pandemic. While production is ending on the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S Digital Edition, it's likely that stock for some retailers will still be available in the coming months. Quote, gamers can check with their local retailers for more details on Xbox One hardware availability, says a Microsoft spokesperson. Microsoft is planning to continue its Xbox All Access subscriptions for the Xbox Series X launch later this year, offering subscribers an opportunity to upgrade to the new console. The software maker is also expected to launch a cheaper, less powerful next-gen Xbox. Codenamed Lockhart, this second Xbox is likely to form a big part of Microsoft's pricing approach for its next-gen Xbox plans. This threw me for a loop. Not that they're discontinuing the One X or the One S All Digital Edition. I figured that was a given. Like, all console manufacturers stop making the consoles that they're not actively trying to sell. It's that they're continuing the One S. Like, so the One X will still be manufactured and it will still be sold globally. Now, I heard a theory about what Lockhart is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It could have been last week. You know, pandemics, brain is like for keeping track of time. But someone...
We have been in 2020 for 9 years.
Yeah, it does really feel... Like, I can't believe Ubisoft Forward was last week. I just could swear that was at least a month ago. Like...
They recorded it a month ago.
Supposedly. So, like, the One S is going to be the cheap model that you can get in on the ground floor with your Xbox experience. We've talked about it, like, for the last few weeks. At this point. Also, props to Microsoft for, like, continuing to, like, be just on point with their messaging in a way that Sony isn't. Which, again, we talked about for weeks. But, like, I heard a theory that it wasn't a theory so much as a wild stab in the dark, that Lockhart was basically going to be like a Chromecast for Xbox, where instead of it being a console, like the Xbox One S, it's literally just a thing that you plug into your TV that's powered by xCloud. So you just stream games to it, and it's going to cost like whatever a Chromecast costs, like 50, 60 quid. And it pairs up Bluetooth with a controller, and you connect it to your Wi-Fi, and you subscribe to Game Pass, or you subscribe to Game Pass because as we'll talk about in a minute, that's what gets you xCloud. And like it has access to your Xbox library, let's say, because that's how xCloud's also going to work. And like that's going to be the cheapest. That's going to be the point of entry that's the cheapest. And I assumed they were going to discontinue all 3 versions of the Xbox One.
Yeah.
And that Lockhart was going to be the cheap console, and the Series X was going to be the expensive console. But now I'm starting to wonder if the One S is going to be the cheap console. Because if Series X is their top level console, like, and then there's going to be another console that's cheaper, like how much cheaper than that console can the One S be? Because like they can't just start selling the One S like 100 quid.
It's weird that it's the S that's not getting continued, and then they're keeping the Xbox X around. But obviously, actually, think about it.
I think the One X would be too expensive.
Well, it's not that. I think it would confuse people. Series X,
Xbox
One X. Yeah. So I've just sort of that's sorted in my head. So it's going to be a very intriguing thing. Like I say, I don't expect to see it next week.
No,
they've all said multiple.
It's all
games.
games. An hour of games.
Expecting to throw it in August and everything. So yeah, like you said, I agree with you. The hearing that they were going to discontinue creating these consoles. Yeah, we knew that was happening. I was very curious when they were going to eventually announce it. So they just got it out the way before the reveal, for their thing next week. So it's a good idea. But yeah, if that theory what you threw out there is spot on, it's going to be a very intriguing thing. Like I say, doesn't the cloud start in September? Doesn't that fully go full online, I believe, in September? So
yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and if it's just like an Xbox all, it's like Chromecast, but it's basically an xCloud thing
It's
with
an
Game Pass
xCloud
on it. That's
cast.
fantastic. That is fantastic.
It makes so much sense. Whoa, I'm not used to having a
Go.
pop filter. I just
Just
karate
getting
chopped
excited,
it.
ladies and gentlemen.
Because it makes so much sense, and it's such a good idea.
I've got a
Like,
Roku, and that, like I say, it works perfectly for the apps, for Disney Plus, for Netflix, for Amazon Prime, and everything.
because
My
even
parents
Phil
downstairs,
Spencer
they've
was
got
out.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, even Phil Spencer was out at some point, talking about like, because you know how everyone's been saying, oh, like games are only going to be cross generation for 1 year, and I kept saying I don't know where they've gotten this time frame from because nobody said it. I saw Phil Spencer in an interview say it's going to be a couple of years, quote, a couple of years. So it's like this, it makes so much sense. The Xbox One S is £250, like brand new. Like, let's say we tie that into the rumors about Lockhart that we heard a couple of weeks ago and say that that the Xbox One S is half the price of the Series X, which is £500, which is going to be about where we've been sort of expecting the Series X to be. Like, where's the middle ground for a Lockhart in there? Like, what would be the point in selling a 400, £350 console? Because it would have to be far enough away from the One S to justify an upgrade, and far enough away from the Series X to justify like it being cheaper, right? What's the point if you've got these two consoles? But if suddenly like it's $250 for the One S or £60 to £100 for a thing that plugs into your thing, and you get Game Pass Ultimate, and you just stream games to your TV, like that makes so much sense. That it's crazy, like, but it's just so I can see it.
So what we're thinking here. So the S, like I have, what, $100? 150 max?
No, I'd say they keep the One S at whatever the price is now.
What's that?
It's £250.
I believe was. I can't see that. I can see them lowering that because
maybe it goes down to 200, and maybe the Xbox Series X is at 400. Like, I was just tying it into the rumor we'd heard that Lockhart was going to be half the price of Series X. What if that rumor's true, but it's not Lockhart that's going to be half the price of the Series X, it's the One S. And Lockhart is a streaming device that doesn't cost very much money because it's basically just a Wi-Fi receiver and a Bluetooth receiver in a bit of plastic.
It's going to be fascinating. It really is. If that does come out, that'll be interesting. They are pushing xCloud a lot.
Because you go back to like Phil Spencer stuff talking about like 2 billion gamers, right? And they want to reach all of them. And it's like creating a price point of entry of like, say, even at like the top end and say £100. Let's say like £100. It could be much cheaper than that, but let's just say £100 for the sake of argument. Creating a price point of entry into the next generation of gaming for £100. And like I just thought of it like today, and it's been on my mind all day, like, and I'm just like, I can't stop picturing it because it will be such a good thing to do.
It sounds like it's so. I still think the Series X will probably be $499. So the S, say $250, maybe $200, and then the Lockhart at $100.
Yeah, and it could just as easily be cheaper, like, because you've got to think, you'd have to get a Game Pass Ultimate subscription for that, but a Chromecast is £30.
Yeah, my Roku was 25. So
yeah, and it's like this will probably be a bit more expensive, and it might come with a controller.
I think they'll tie in. I think they'll probably tie in a year's Game Pass in it.
Yeah,
to raise the price up a bit. But...
like, yeah, I mean, I've got Game Pass Ultimate until January 2022. Like,
all right, rub it in.
I'm on all access, like, but I could skip getting a Series X for like £500, and I can just get a little dongle.
Good.
And I'll be like, oh my god, I've got a little dongle. And it'll be like, I'll be playing up here, right? And then I'll be like, oh, well, and everyone goes to bed and stuff. And I can be like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this little dongle thing and I'm going to take it downstairs to the massive TV and I'm just going to plug it in and keep playing. And I'm going to keep playing Halo. And it's like, yeah, that's how I play games.
Giant smile on your face.
It's
Yeah.
I have a giant smile on my face when I'm playing games, movie, because I love video games.
We
Mark
all.
mark my words. I've been right about so much Xbox stuff over this past generation with like Play Anywhere, which I guessed the name of the Xbox One X. Just watch this space. I know the idea wasn't actually mine, and I just borrowed it from another YouTuber, but I'm planting my flag like I've done so many times on this podcast in the past, and saying this is such a good idea. I can't see them not doing it. But they probably won't. But it's one of those things where it's like, Phil, if you are watching this somehow, this is the plan, right? You can have this. This is free. Maybe I'll tell you what, you can have this plan, just send me one. Send me one of your little streaming sticks.
Yeah, we know you've got an Xbox Series X, Phil. You've said it yourself, you rat little bastard. We love you, but damn, man.
Like, yeah. To keep talking about Xbox, we'll just move on to the next story, because we have a second Xbox story, which is Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers will get Project xCloud access from September. Joke's on you, I've already got xCloud access. This is from James Batchelor over at GamesIndustry.biz. He writes, Microsoft's game streaming service Project xCloud will be free to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscribers. The news comes from a lengthy blog post by Xbox boss Phil Spencer, who wrote that cloud streaming will be added to the higher tier subscription service in supported countries this September. Excuse me. Unlike the standard Game Pass, the Ultimate subscription includes Xbox Live membership, enabling users to play online against each other. Project xCloud, which is still currently in preview, will give Ultimate subscribers access to over 100 Xbox Game Pass titles that can be played on phone and tablet. Similar to Google Stadia's... Let me try that again. Similar to Google's Stadia service, xCloud enables users to access and play their games from a range of devices, picking up where they left off if they switch from one to another. The service was initially only available in the US, the UK, and Korea, but has since been rolled out to other key markets, including Canada, India, Japan, and Western Europe. Microsoft... don't even worry about that. Yeah. xCloud's great. Like, unlike Stadia, I can actually get it to fucking work. Like... because I previewed it last year. I was playing on this phone. Oh, I was playing Halo and Ori, and it was awesome. This makes total sense. Like, I don't think anyone expected anything different, because it's like, if you're gonna get people to buy into a streaming service, Google, take note, if you're going to get people to buy into a streaming service, it might be handy if they have access to some games. So by marrying this up to Game Pass, like, you get all the Game Pass games, which just happens to include all of Microsoft Xbox Game Studios games. Like, we've talked a lot. I feel like every time we talk about Stadia, we do bring xCloud up and just say these guys are doing it right, and this is just the fruits of these guys are doing it right, because this is a good way to do it.
It just goes back to the mentality that Phil Spencer's brought into the team that he's built around him. That it's all about the gamers, and it's to make it to be the best pro-consumer thing out there. They want to be simple for the consumers. If the thing like what you just that you took from another streamer, you said,
it was Tim Gay. I'm just going to throw it out there. It was Tim Gay. He's a Kind of Funny Games. He said it like months ago, and I laughed.
If that
and
happens,
went, ha! And now I'm like,
but if that happens, that is, again, it's just another thing. It's the accessibility. He wants to make it so accessible for if you're a hardcore. Boom, Series X. If you just want a simple one, boom, the S, like I've got. If you don't even want a big giant thing and you just want to use the internet, boom, your dongle. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. And your cloud and everything. And this is another thing with it. Like, they do such a good thing. They make it so much accessible. The talking, unlike PlayStation, which they're not explaining things very well. But we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I can't wait for next Thursday.
Well,
I think it's going to be a fun show and everything.
I'm
not getting hyped to what they're going to show. I just think it's going to be a fun show.
I mean, I think they've
got something.
I said in our Summer of Gaming predictions video that the July Xbox event was going to be... the content was going to be there. Like, even if they do try to do the inside Xbox type presentation, which I don't think they're gonna do, but like, even if the presentation sucks, like it did in May, I still think what they show will still be excellent, and I stand by that. Like, I still think whatever's good. There's a freaking demo event happening at the same time now, so it's like, yeah, whatever happens at Xbox 2020, which I believe is what they call in the July event, I think it's gonna be awesome. Like,
I'm
I really
excited
do.
for it.
But yeah, it's like I compare, like, and I know we've been doing this all year, but I compare like these two pieces of news, which get me intrigued and hyped for the future of Xbox, to Jeff Keighley waving a PlayStation 5 controller around on YouTube. Like, all right, mate. Like,
I never even watched that.
like I said to you the other night, I watched the first few minutes and then I saw what this thing was going to be, and I was like, I don't want somebody else describing to me how awesome my controller is. Like, because that tells me nothing. Like,
oh, it feels beautiful.
it feels
comfy in
beautiful.
your
Yeah,
hands. That
people
doesn't
used to
tell
tell
me
me the
nothing.
DualShock. People used to tell me the DualShock 3 felt awesome, and you know what? I got my hands on it, and it was awkward as fuck, and I didn't like it. So I just, like, yeah. If you tell me, like, if you got your hands on a DualSense and Moody, and you were like, oh, it feels awesome, I'd be like, all right, cool. Like, that's good to
I'm happy
know.
it worked for you.
I'm happy it works for you. I'll wait until I get my hands on one, and then I'll let you know how it is. I won't be like if you started waving one in front of the webcam on podcast, I wouldn't be like, which has been gifted so many times.
Put it closer to the camera. Get it closer.
I want to see it. Let me see it.
It's basically like this. Put it closer. There it is.
It's so beautiful.
Look at these.
Are those haptic feedback triggers? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, Christ, man. Jeff, I love Jeff Keighley to bits, but Jesus. Anyway, we've got a PS5 story. Sony reportedly increasing production at 10 million consoles in 2020. This is from Adam Bankhurst over at IGN, who writes, Sony is reportedly increasing its PlayStation 5 production at 10 million units in 2020 as, quote, it sees the prolonged effects of the COVID-19 pandemic boosting demand for gaming, end quote. As reported by Nikkei Asian Review and Bloomberg, Sony had originally planned to produce 5 to 6 million consoles by the end of March 2021, but the change in demand due to the global pandemic has caused it to change course. Sony is said to have begun PS5 mass production in June, and under the latest plan expects to assemble 5 million units by the end of September, and another 5 million between October and December. Not all 10 million may make it to store shelves in 2020, however, as logistical delays may delay a percentage of the PlayStation 5 consoles to 2021. A big factor in the potential delay for some of the stock is due to shipping constraints, as, quote, a large proportion of Sony's consoles are made in China and sent out via sea around the world, end quote. It can take months for these consoles to make it from China to the US and Europe via ocean liners, which can cause issues keeping PS5s in stock. Nintendo has recently faced a similar problem with Nintendo Switch. This is bold. I believe those were my exact words when you showed me this story the other day. This is bold.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Like, I'll say this right now. It's great to see that they're gonna have the numbers there at least and everything, but they're not gonna sell 10 million units in the first 2 months of the final 2 months of this year, ladies and gentlemen.
And just for because I brought this up and then I researched it after when we were in the group chat, just for point of reference. PlayStation 4 hit 10 million units sold in June 2014. So it launched in 2013. November 2013. And it hit 10 million in June the following year.
8 months.
And it was at the time was one of the fastest selling consoles of all time. Just to put it in perspective.
And I don't deny it. This thing's gonna fly off the shelves. There's no doubt about this, unless the pricing is astonishingly terrible. Which I don't believe it's going to be. I don't personally either.
I don't believe it either, but it's not out of character for Sony to do something like that to themselves. Unfortunately, they've done it before.
Mm-hmm. But
they've got
the IP, they've got the market share right now. Sorry for putting in.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah, they've got the IP, they've got the market share right now. So a lot of people who are PlayStation people who are constantly like buying the exclusive all the time, they're going to be ready for this. They're going to be excited for this. This is great news. They're getting themselves prepared. There's no doubt about it. But they won't sell 10 million units the first 2 months or something, because I'm expecting this will probably come out in November, ladies and gentlemen. Even if it isn't, it'll be late October at the earliest. But yeah, it's good they're doing this. This is great in a certain ways that the world is kind of going back, starting to move a little bit, even though it really, really shouldn't in certain places of the world, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just be frank here. It really shouldn't, but yeah. Gaming's been, that's the thing about it. You didn't the quote that what's his name? The head of PlayStation.
Jim
Ryan. Jim Ryan. Said a quote that even in like when we had the recession, the gaming kept on moving forward. It was selling still, which was crazy to think, and it's still the same now. During the pandemic and everything, the games have been selling extraordinarily well, better than they probably would have if it was just a normal day in the world. What is normal? Who knows? Ask them Moody 9 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah,
what was normal?
It is freaky. How it is very freaky that it just seems like gaming is getting more and more bigger. And I agree. I think I'm curious where you're meaning with the bold statement. I think was thinking the same thing here, but I'll let you go, Andy. Sorry, I butted in.
No, it's fine. All I said was it was bold to start a conversation. I was repeating what I already said in our group chat, but no, I mean, we've talked at length about how recession-proof the games industry is and how it's based off of the last recession, which, like, when we talked about it, as I kind of pointed out, like, was in mid-generation when consoles were very cheap, and not potentially $500 to $600 during a global pandemic, which could potentially get a lot worse around about the time consoles come out. Like, they changed, like, it's the line. The change in demand is due to the global pandemic, because the change in demand due to the global pandemic has caused it to change course. Right. People are buying consoles right now at £200 to £300. So if your PS5 is going to be, say, £300, it's probably going to sell really well. It's not going to be, and I don't know how well it's going to sell. And that leads me on to my second point, where we talked about this a couple of months ago, where it's like PS5s are really expensive to make right now because of stock shortages and because of the pandemic. Why are you going all in now on making units when it's obviously going to be more expensive than it would be if you, say, made these extra 5 million consoles to plan after March 2021, when hopefully everything's sort of more back to normal, and it might be cheaper to build these PS5s, and then you could sell them at more of a profit, or maybe even drop the price. Like, I'm not a business person, and I don't wholly understand businesses, mostly because capitalism sucks and we should burn it to the ground, but I don't understand this in a very specific way of, Sony seem to be trying to make consoles too quickly for a demand that may not exist, for a price that is higher than it could have been. So that's where my "it's bold" statement comes from.
Yeah. No, I understand where you go. They could be literally thinking, because of things how they are, the demand is high. They might be thinking, might be able. And they're not going to sell. We know, like we said, we already said, they're not going to sell 10 million units in the the final 2 months of the year. We know that. But they sold what? I think they sold like 2 million in like two.
It was 1 million. I think they hit 1 million but again, it was a case of
$1 million in a week. Wasn't it 1 million in a week?
PS4 sales first month. Let's see if I can get that. Okay. I've got something. It's August 2014. It was up to 10 million by then, which I said because I looked it up. First month sales of previous consoles versus first 24 hours of PS4. I know the PS4 was the best-selling console of all time. It sold 1 million units on its first month.
Yeah,
which would have more or less been the rest of the year, because then it would have been Christmas after its first month on sale.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty sure they said they hit 1 million units when the first PSX came out.
And again, that was the fastest selling console of all time at the time.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows what? Like I say, I think that they're just trying to prepare for supply and demand, and I think they're thinking right now the thing they could get a couple of extra units out there faster than they
No,
thought
I
they
mean
were going to.
100%. They're going to have the stock on hand, and that's great.
Yeah.
I just don't know if the demand's there like they think it is. I think the demand is for PS4s because right now, people are on furlough and on lockdown and need things to do, so they're buying cheap game consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're at the end of a generational life cycle, so the consoles are the cheapest they've ever been. And that's where I think this specific demand that Sony's reacting to, is coming from. And I don't know if that demand's going to exist at the end of the year for the PS5 in the way that it does for the PS4 right now.
Yeah. It's going to be fascinating. It's going to be very fascinating. You got the supply and demand sorted. See what the numbers are going to be. Yeah. I'm extremely excited to see what's going to happen with this.
I just need one of these two fucking companies to put a price tag on it. Because at this point, I'm getting sick of speculating when I don't know how much it's going to cost. It's been so long. It's been 84 years.
Like, well, let's be frank here, ladies and gentlemen. We both know that the PlayStation, Sony, and Microsoft, they know that they're each other's prices. They know this. Sony knows Microsoft, and Microsoft knows Sony's price.
You go first. No, you go first. No, you go first. What if we go at the same time? Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2. You didn't say it. Ha! You didn't say it either. And that's what Sony and Microsoft are doing right now. And meanwhile, we're stuck in the middle, just going.
Well, they're trying. For me, they're trying to. They're obviously trying. One of them. We're both trying to wait to see who's going to go at Blink first and everything like that. That's for me saying they want to see the judge the reaction, because for me that's saying both the consoles, at least the PlayStation 5 Disc Edition and the Xbox Series X, are probably the same price. Yeah. And I think that's $499 for both of them.
Yeah. It's fucking July. I need to know how much these things are going to cost. I've got to save for these things, guys. Like, talking directly to Sony and Microsoft here, I've got to save for these fucking consoles. Do you mind telling me how much I've got to save before they come out? Because
$499.
If you just shadow drop the consoles without the prices, plenty of people like me are just going to be like, well, I can't afford that. Like, if you leave it too long and I don't have the time to save enough money, that also presents a particular problem to a certain demographic of people with no money, like me. People who knock their empty cans over, like me.
Yeah. Let's find out in August.
Let's move on, because we're into pricing territory, and you know how I feel about talking about pricing.
You love it, Amy. You love it.
Let's talk about something I love talking about. Swery apologises for handling of transgender character in Deadly Premonition 2. This is from Emma Kent over at Eurogamer, who writes, Hidetaka Swery Suhiro, director and writer of Deadly Premonition 2, has taken to Twitter to apologise for the handling of a transgender character in the game. Following the release of Deadly Premonition 2 last week, players and reviewers criticised the way a transgender... That's the second time I've mispronounced that word. Players and reviewers criticised the way a transgender character had been depicted, with US gamers Matthew Olson highlighting that the character was sometimes misgendered and dead-named, which is using a transgender person's old name from before their transition. This is a quote from Swery's Twitter. He used Google Translate, so it is a bit broken English, but I'm going to read it as it's written. I realised by pointing out from friends I might have hurt transgender people in my scenario. It wasn't intentional. I am really sorry for that. According to Suhiro's message, some scenes will now be checked over by a team, quote, that include diversity, end quote, while Suhiro will rewrite the scene that caused problems. While the errors probably shouldn't have slipped through the proofreading stages, it's good to see that they're now being addressed. Yeah, I guess. I mean, having now full knowledge of what happened, woof. This was a big old thing, part of the game.
Now, I haven't played this game, and I'll say right now, I didn't realize there was a transgender character in the game.
I know, didn't I?
So Was this, going off what the research you have done, was this the worry you had at the time before you finished the game of The Last of Us Part 2? Was this what you were worried about? Because you did say you had some worries.
I have worries
And then-
whenever I find out there's a trans character in any game, because stuff
fair.
like this
I
happens all the
understand.
time. No, I mean it's worrying in general. Like, I think Cyberpunk would probably be a better thing for me to talk about in this regard, because The Last of Us Part 2's happened, and that would be kind of talking in terms of hindsight. Whereas, like, it's a worry for me whenever I learn this stuff like this. Like, in Deadly Premonition 2's case, it was a case of, I'm super excited for this game because I played the first one. That also had some problematic stuff in it that I'd completely forgotten about because the game came out 10 years ago. Luckily, I watched the Laura Kate Dale's video on the subject, and I was like, oh yeah, that was in the game. I forgot about that. But in Deadly Premonition 2, it's like, it's very pervasive. Now, this is why I talk about Cyberpunk the way that I do, because, and this is why I get nervous about stuff like this, hearing about stuff like this in any game, because it's like, what's waiting for me in this game? Like, this came out of nowhere for me. Like, I had Deadly Premonition 2. I was talking to you about how I had it in my Switch, and I might do a stream of it, and then some stuff came out, and I was like, okay, there's some stuff in this game, and then Laura put a video out, and I got to see all of the stuff that was in the game, and I was like, cool, I ain't playing this yet, maybe ever, because I don't need to experience that. And it's like, that's what I talk about when I'm like, I see CD Projekt Red doing and saying transphobic stuff, and it's like, okay, you did it, you apologize for it, but if that's what you're saying now, what's in your game? Like, and do I want to experience this? And it is the same sort of thing of The Last of Us Part 2, where it was like, I learned some stuff about Lev before getting to Lev's part of the game, and it is a case of, do I want to experience this right now?
Yeah,
like, do I want to see this do I want to see the stuff that I have to deal with in real life every day of my life in this video game that I'm playing? And sometimes the answer is yes. The Last of Us Part 2's depiction of a trans character wasn't perfect, but for me personally, and I'm not, like, my opinion does not override anyone's opinion who doesn't think this, but I thought it was handled fine. Things like Deadly Premonition 2 obviously wasn't handled fine. In fact, having seen the content and had the content described to me, holy shit, what the fuck? How did this end up in the game? And the answer is, there wasn't a trans person in the room. Like, and that's always the fucking answer. It's like, this ended up in the game because nobody asked us. Like,
that's the one thing Last of Us.
That's the one thing The Last of Us 2 did. There's people who work at Naughty Dog who are trans.
Mm-hmm.
The actor who played Lev is trans. It's like, that's how you put a trans character in your game. Like, Druckmann, who is a cisgender man, can write a thing for a trans person, but it's always a good idea to check with trans people to go, yo, is this cool?
Yeah.
Like,
just spot on.
Because if you don't, you end up in a situation like this.
And that's what I think a lot of people out there need to realize is that, I'm not going to lie, I'll be frank here, it's pretty much basically white men like myself here. It doesn't affect us, yeah, because it doesn't, I won't deny that, but it can affect people. These certain things can affect people, like for Amy, for people who are LGBTQ, a person of color, a person of a different race, or anything like that. These type of things, if they're depicted in a bad way, can really hurt and affect them. And it's the fine balance of what they need to sort out and everything. Like what Amy, like what you just said, Last of Us, they did it in a right way. How Neil Druckmann spoke to people who work at the Naughty Dog, who are transgender people, and everything. This one here, yes, they've apologized. Yes, that's fantastic. They've apologized. You didn't mean to do it, or anything like that. But like it's at the same time it says we didn't speak to anybody about it.
No,
and that's the thing about
he says
it.
it on
his go and speak.
On the full post, he says it, like, he's gonna have people check it over, and it's like, well, why didn't you have people check it over the first time? Because you've been criticized for this type of thing in the past, and then you've done it again, and it's almost the same thing, which is really weird. Like, and it's like, great, like even if you rewrite this, and I'm glad that Swery has like apologized and he's going to fix it, because a lot of game developers would have just doubled down and said, but my art, like, and I'm glad he's doing it. I'm glad he's fixing it. But it's the knowledge now, from my own personal perspective, of can I play Deadly Premonition 2 even after it's been rewritten in good faith and play this game, and that's not going to be on my mind? Like, no, probably not. It's going to be on my mind that at some point this game was like this, and because of what I've seen of this quote unquote scenario, as Swery calls it, it's like there are going to be parts of this that you can't change, and what are you going to do about those? Those are also quite harmful, like in the depictions, and you can't change them because they're intrinsically linked into the story. Like, you have to change your entire storyline, and you can't do that. Like, so you kind of fucked it both ways. No, it's in the content drop, so I'll mention it in a bit. But there's a Laura Kate Dale doing a fantastic video about this. It's like 25 minutes long. There's a link in the description below. There's also a documentary on Netflix if you're interested in what I've just been talking about trans representation as sort of like a thing. It's called Disclosure. Like, I urge you to go and watch it.
Powerful.
Like, it's an excellent documentary.
It's a powerful thing, that documentary.
Like,
Didn't watch all of it because I think I was playing with you actually. Go pew pew. Yeah.
But it's a really good. It's a really, really good documentary. That puts into words a lot of things that we talk about a lot, but it does it like, yeah, on a Netflix documentary. And that's that. Moody the Red Door, reportedly Call of Duty 2020, is on the Microsoft Store. This is from Fraser Brown over at PC Gamer, who writes, despite being more than halfway through the year, the next installment in the ceaseless Call of Duty series is still a complete mystery. Activision hasn't been giving anything away, and so far all we've had to go on are leaks and rumours. But now it might have appeared on the Microsoft Store. A listing for an Activision shooter called The Red Door recently arrived on the store with no fanfare or announcement from the publisher, accompanied by only a brief and enigmatic description. Quote, there is more than one truth. If you go looking for answers, be ready to question everything and accept that nothing will ever be the same. The Red Door awaits. Do you dare step through it? End quote. With the listing being so purposefully mysterious, it doesn't seem like another case of a game appearing on the store earlier than planned. It's not been taken down yet, either, suggesting Activision is in on it, teasing the upcoming game. But where's the Call of Duty connection? The rating, genre, and publisher all fit, but there's nothing there that's explicitly linked to the series. However, this isn't the first time we've seen the name The Red Door. Last month, PlayStation's serial database, Serial Station, posted a listing for it, accompanied by a content ID that shed some light on the mystery game, which is a bunch of letters and numbers. Its appearance on the Microsoft Store seems to confirm it, that Call of Duty 2020 Alpha is coming. Mooney? Xbox 2020. Call of Duty reveal.
Didn't they say it's more exclusive?
They didn't say it. They did say it wasn't all exclusives.
Have they? Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't all first parties.
If Microsoft are the thing that show that probably will make you think that they've got the marketing rights back.
Was going to ask you this not long after the PS5 reveal, because we've talked about it. Like, Call of Duty is really late at this point.
Really
like,
late.
May.
Yeah.
It gets revealed in May. Like, that's been the cycle. And we know there's been issues with the development of this Call of Duty specifically. I was going to ask you this after it didn't get revealed at the PS5 reveal, which is where I assumed it would, because PlayStation has the rights to the marketing. What if they don't? And then I saw this story, and I was like, I'm going to put this story in here so I can ask, what if Microsoft have got the rights to Call of Duty again? And it's going to be revealed this Thursday.
That is a big thing. There's no doubt about it. I won't do anything for them for like the first year or two because like PlayStation have got such a big shit.
Well, yeah, the game will sell better on PS4 than it will even on PS5. Like,
yeah, the next two Call of Duties are going to be cross-platform guaranteed, minimum. Then the next one will be full on next gen, Series X and PlayStation 5 and everything. That's been the ultimate question for everybody. Do PlayStation still have the marketing rights to this and everything?
Because I'm sure this is when it changed hands last time. I'm sure it changed hands at the beginning of last generation.
If I believe, so if I remember rightly, Ghost was the game that came out that year for 2013, and I believe Microsoft were the ones who showed it.
Yeah,
But
it was the one
the
after
year
Ghosts,
after
wasn't
that,
it?
PlayStation showed it. Yeah.
Ghosts.
So,
which would have been, was it one of the Black Ops games?
if Microsoft haven't got the rights, then that tells me the rumored for the PlayStation or early August event is probably going to be true.
Advanced Warfare
yeah.
was the next one.
Yeah, and that was a PlayStation.
And that was Xbox, PS3, but also Xbox One and PS4. And you're actually spot on with your timeline there. 2016 Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, that was the first title that wasn't cross generation.
Yeah, it'll only be 2 years, I believe. For me personally, they'll probably be just cross generational. But yeah, that'll be a coup and a half. There's at the end of the day, we know Microsoft have a war chest, ladies and gentlemen. They could easily buy back the marketing rights for Call of Duty quite simply, just by saying, "Yeah, how much have Sony put in? They put 100 million in, and we'll put 101 in."
All I'm saying
all right,
is,
you got it.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, because they don't give a fuck. They're going to sell millions of units of Call of Duty regardless of what console logo is at the end of their trailers. But all I'm saying is, like, it hasn't been revealed yet. There's an Xbox event next week. Or this week, sorry. This has just appeared on the Microsoft store. And it's an alpha, because it says in that long string of numbers and letters, alpha. And, point number 5, there's also a massive Xbox demo event this week. Like, at the same time as Xbox 2020. Like, I'm just putting all 5 of those things together and thinking, well, this would make sense. Unless there's going to be a state of play this week. Or Activision are having their own thing that they haven't announced this week.
Yeah. That would be huge at the end of the year, though, that Microsoft have Call of Duty marketing, Assassin's Creed marketing, and Cyberpunk
marketing.
That's
Watch Dogs Legion marketing.
Yeah, pretty much half the Ubisoft marketing. that would be mega. That would be mega as hell. Oh, bring it on. This is fantastic. Either way, I just love the little jabs. The little jabs between them both.
A lot of people say it doesn't make a difference, but there was a period of time. It really does. But there was a period of time. Me and Fixer talks about it when I was a regular co-host on my Xbox and me, where it was like we were going to the cinema to watch films, and we'd see like 3 or 4 game trailers, and one of them would be an Xbox. Not a game, just the Xbox. And then the other 3 game trailers would be for like Battlefront 2 or whatever. But all of them would just bombard you with PS4 logos. There wasn't a Sony advert at the cinema. But they got advertising 3 times because they had the marketing rights for these different games. And like that's where it makes a difference. Because they didn't have to pay for any of that. Like they didn't have to produce their own advert. They just went, cool, here's some money to EA. Put our logo at the end of this trailer. Whereas Microsoft made a fucking sizzle reel for the Xbox and didn't get as much marketing as PlayStation did for doing next to nothing.
Yeah.
That's why marketing deals
There's
are
a reason
important.
why PlayStation this generation went for the 3 main IPs that always sell well. They went for Call of Duty, got it. And not 4, I'll go 4. Call of Duty, FIFA, Destiny, and Star Wars. Yeah. Star Wars is a huge IP, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't realize that. Yeah, those were arguably been the 4 biggest IPs to own marketing rights for, or to have their marketing rights for. Yeah. Just to show your console, to show we have this. This is what we have. You can play it on PlayStation. Yeah, you can play it on the little console over there. But we have it. This is where you get. This is the best place to play these games. And that's very powerful to have for just a normal consumer. For us, it doesn't really mean much because we know.
We're so intrinsically in this industry.
Yeah. But for a casual, that's like, oh my god, it's the best place to play. Is to play on the Xbox Series X?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which it is, because that's going to be the most powerful console in the world in November.
Mm-hmm. And that's maybe what made them go for it. But Call of Duty, or not only just the money, but Microsoft might be just like, it's a new generation. We know we're okay with this latest generation with PlayStation 4 and Series S. not the Series, the
Yeah.
Xbox One. We know we're going to get things on that, but now it's time to start marketing for the next generation. Who do we want to go for? Do we want to go for the one that has the fastest speed, or do we want to have the one with the fastest power? Power is a more bigger thing to say than speed, ladies and gentlemen. That's what
Yeah.
the PlayStation 3 logo was. The PlayStation 4's main thing. The most powerfulest console in the world at
It's
that
the
time
best
before the
place
X
to
came
play.
out.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's like Xbox are going to go forward with this is the world's most powerful console.
Yeah.
There's no, that's unequivocal as a marketing message. This is the world's most powerful console.
Yeah.
That says something, like, very basic, but like that everybody can understand, and it's in the fucking tagline. This is the world's most powerful. You want the best console? This one. This is the one. This is the best console.
You want to play the best first-person shooter? Best place to play is the Xbox Series X, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the marketing is going to be.
And that's what the marketing, that's what the marketing's going to be. And it just, I'm not expecting it because, like, I'm keeping my expectations in check, obviously, like I always do for all of these streams. But I'm not going to be surprised in the slightest now if we get, like, a Call of Duty reveal on Thursday.
For this coming out,
It's
this is
the
telling them
biggest.
they're getting ready.
It's one of the biggest franchises on the planet. Like, if you're gonna have non-first party games at your big first party reveal, you're gonna have fucking Call of Duty, right? Like, that's the one that you would want.
Oh, dude, Activision look like they're starting to now get ready to start showing off because they know they know they have to start getting marketing this game off sooner or later.
Yeah.
Because it's only like what we're almost in August.
It'll come out. It might be a launch title for the new consoles. It might come out later, but it might still come out in October. But it's like July, August. I mean, it's like 3 to 4 months. Right?
Yeah, I can see it coming out in October, but they'll have the thing saying smart delivery.
Smart delivery. Well, if it's an Xbox game, a marketed game, it's gonna have smart delivery.
Guaranteed, yeah.
That'll probably be a part of the. Would have probably been a part of the negotiation of being like, but this has to use smart delivery. Because that will be that with Call of Duty doing smart delivery would be fucking huge. Shit, I forgot about this. Let's do the last news story. Congratulations to the Gamer Girl trailer for being the worst thing on the internet this week. This is from Vivian Kane over at the Mary Sue, who writes, in an absolutely stunning refusal to read the room, Wales Interactive released and then quickly removed a trailer for a new FMV game called Gamer Girl. In this game, the player is tasked with moderating the live stream chat of an up-and-coming streamer going by the name AbbyCake99, played by Alexandra Byrne. In addition to banning commenters and increasing the subscriber count, the trailer makes it clear there's also a dangerous path Abby could follow, as the moderator is tasked with balancing her streaming with the drama in her life, and the trailer appears to end with her getting attacked in real life. According to the developers via a string of defensive tweets posted Thursday, the game is meant to show how Abby battles the trolls and overcomes the toxic characters in her stream. They say the story is empowering, except as is so often the case, when a group tries to raise awareness about traumatic experiences they've never faced themselves, the result usually just puts the trauma on display as entertainment without offering any worthwhile commentary, critique, or analysis to go along with it. When a bunch of white men get together to decide what is and isn't empowering to women, that's the biggest red flag you can find. The game credits Burton as a writer on the game because her responses are fully improvised, which is great in terms of creative expression for an actor, but it doesn't sound like that actually affects the plot of the game or the ways in which this kind of trauma is explored. What makes this especially awful and ill-timed is that the games industry has been going through its own massive #MeToo reckoning in recent weeks, with dozens of developers, streamers, influencers, and more being called out for abusive and predatory behaviour. Did you see this trailer?
I heard, but I never watched it.
I got it sent to me via email, because I'm on Wales Interactive's press list. I've actually got a game from them that's coming out like next week. So just like full disclosure. And I saw it and I watched it and I was like, fuck, that looks awful. But then I think I was like half asleep or something. I don't know. I didn't watch it properly. I looked at the trailer, I clicked it, and that looks terrible. I got about with my day. I woke up the next morning and it was trending. And I was like, okay.
Thank God.
It's trending. Interesting. And then I watched the trailer again, and I don't know, I guess I was fully paying attention this time, and I was like, it is really fucking it's so off target for whatever it was trying to do. I mean, for starters, it's called Gamer Girl, which is just a fucking terrible name for it. It's creepy. Oh my god, it's so creepy. It's basically an FMV game, and like it says, you are a moderator in this streamer's chat, which is like the first red flag, because essentially what it is it's like it's all the traumas and abuse that like popular female streamers go through on a daily basis, which is already a terrible idea for a video game. But you don't get to play the streamer; you get to play the moderator, and it seems it plays into that whole thing of like the parasocial relationships that can develop between like people who think streamers are their friends. And then it's like, well, they're not, because they're just the streamer. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it reads the room so badly, and it's like, oh my god, I watched this trailer the second time I watched it, I was just like, oh fucking hell. Oh my god. What did you release? Like, they've deleted it, but obviously it's the internet. So, it's not gone. And yeah, it's oof. It's horrible. Like the article says, like in the headline, it's the worst thing on the internet. It probably was the worst thing on the internet last week.
That's impressive, because there's some pretty shit things on the internet.
Yeah, I'll see if I can dig it.
Crazily mad respect in some sort of crazy creepy way.
Yeah, if you. Because you haven't seen it, if Alana Pierce did a reaction to it on her YouTube channel, so you can see the trailer there, and I'm pretty sure within like 5 or 10 seconds, Alana had the same reaction I did, which was just, oh no, like, yeah, it's like the streamer in like skimpy clothes, like doing the streams, and it's like it's playing into certain stereotypes, and it's feeding into certain traumas, and it's trying to take advantage of things that real streamers go through, and like right this second, right now, are going through, and like. You might have had good intentions, but it's like we were just talking about with the Swery stuff about transgender people. Like, someone went on the Wales Interactive website and went on the Meet the Team page, and it's just all white men. And it's just like, you can tell they've made this game, maybe with the best possible intentions, but they've made this game, and no one has talked to a single woman in the entire process of making this. And then that's how you get Gamer Girl, coming September 2020 to all platforms.
It ain't coming out anytime soon, I'll tell you that. I'll be very surprised if that comes out. No. After the backlash,
no.
I'll be very surprised if it comes out.
Yeah, like, a lot of people I've been following, like, a lot of people I follow have said it more eloquently than I have, like, what's wrong with this game. And yeah, like, the best response I've seen is just, oh no. Like, no. No, thank you. No.
God.
Seriously though,
I missed it. I saw it trending, and I always do. When I see stupid things trending, I always a little bit faster. So I do look, I click on it, and I'm just looking and I'm thinking, okay. And then I never watched the trailer. I was just like, okay, this. Oh yeah, I can just tell from the pictures alone, it was something that was just like, nope, no, it's something silly, something really stupid, something inappropriate in whatever crazy way, or something just like you're just going, nope, don't want to know it. Boom. So I just deleted it from our timeline altogether.
Like it just it feeds into so many different things, like the moderator white knight thing, that like the stalkers, the abusive stuff, the like being able to, like, because the trailer ends with like it looks like it's possible with like being able to like be attacked, like the streamer to be attacked IRL. Like at some point, like there's some creepy moments where there's like she's streaming and there's like a shadow coming through the window, so there's someone obviously standing at the window, and like it markets itself as you being the moderator in this chat and also like texting with her and stuff and being in control of everything, and it's just like it makes my skin crawl thinking about it. It really does.
How can and it just goes back to this, like I said when we were talking about the transgender thing. This is basically white men. Basically white men. They just haven't got a clue, and they don't pay attention, and they aren't even realizing what they're doing wrong, and they're just like throwing something out, thinking it's going to be funny, thinking this type of thing is fun. Honestly, why the hell? What kind of? I would literally would ask. If I ever met one of them, I would literally ask who decided who literally was the person who thought of this game, because I think I need to slap them, because this isn't wrong. This is not
yeah.
right whatsoever. This is disgusting.
It's the whole good intentions thing. Like they say it themselves because they defended it, they took it down, but also defended it on Twitter. Where they were like, it's trying to raise awareness of traumatic experiences, but it's not. What it's doing is it's taking traumatic experiences and using them as entertainment. And yeah, it's like they think they're like if you show someone if you show someone the traumatic experience but have nothing to say about it, that's not raising awareness. That's just showing me something I don't want to interact with.
It's giving predators a game.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You are literally giving the predators a game where they know they have no consequences whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like, ooh.
They know they can get away with whatever the hell they want at any time they want in a game. That's wrong. I don't care about artistic license. I've already said multiple times, artistic license has a reach and it has a level where you cannot cross. Deciding to create a game about shooting in a school, that's a line you don't cross. A game that appeared on Nintendo about masturbation, that's a line you don't cross.
Oh god, that was only last week as well, wasn't it?
Don't create these games. It's not about artistic choice. It's just like, does this sound right? No. If anybody in that group literally says, should we be doing this, or does this actually sound good or right? And if anyone questioned it, you should have legged it if they kept on deciding to do this game.
Like, but if the solution's so simple in both cases, with Swery and with Will's Interactive, the solution is so simple. You go and you write the thing down that you're gonna do, and then you go to a person, like a trans person or a woman, and then you go, huh? And then you see what the reaction is. And neither of them did that, and now you can tell because you can see the reaction from hundreds, thousands of people all across the internet going, what did you do? Why did you do this? But it's empowering. And they're like, but it's empowering. And we're like, no, it's not. That's terrifying.
I'm going to say a saying I haven't said in a long, long time. And it's a saying that both me and my partner always got taught when we were working in the hospitality together. From our manager, communication across the nation. You have to communicate, ladies and gentlemen. You have to talk. And if you're going to create a video game, you have to make sure you're going to be hitting all the right points. And you have to make sure that, okay, we're going to be talking about something that's about race. That's going to be talking. We might have a character who says the N-word, but we need to speak to some people of color to see how can we do this in a right way, where it's not going to be fully uncomfortable, and it's not going to be offensive.
It's not going to be racist, like essentially.
Yeah, and racist. Yeah, you need to speak to these people. And do it in the right way. If you can't do that, then you shouldn't be creating that game. Like, you're going to create a game like what this Gamer Girl, and you have no. There's a reason. I'll go into the part. I've got what I'm doing. Like everyone knows who listens to this podcast, I'm studying for video games. The main thing that they hammer, and I mean my teachers hammer into me and my class, is research, and more bloody research and reflecting on the research to make sure that you know that this is going to be right in the right way, or should you be questioning it, asking certain questions. Go on.
Right. If you were making a video game, right, I downloaded a fun fact. I downloaded Twine the other day. I am contemplating using it. But if you made a video game, right, and let's say you made a narrative-based video game, you're an independent developer in this scenario, and you were going to go, I want to make a video game, and there's going to be a trans character in it. I know exactly what you would do, because you're not a moron. You would write stuff down,
ignore everybody and do my own thing.
And then you would Discord call me, and then we would talk about it, because you know a trans person. If you didn't know me, I'm sure you would reach out to someone. Like,
I can tell right now, ladies and gentlemen, that I've already done that, because I did research on my final major project on a game that I've never played before. I got in contact with 2 people I know who have played this game. That is one you, Amy, and one our friend MC Fixer. who both give us opinions on this game, because I never played it
I
before,
remember
but
that.
I
Yeah,
needed some feedback.
I
Yeah, some sort of
I had to
feedback.
dig my review out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I need to do that. It ain't hard to do the research, ladies and gentlemen. It really isn't.
No,
And
it's not.
this
Like,
for me, these people. I'm sorry to say this, and this is coming from a person who is going to be learning about games for the rest of his life, especially when it comes to QA and everything like that. They have not been taught properly at college or university.
yeah. Well, they're just, it's
Or they're
the,
idiots.
it's
And that makes
no,
it
it's
worse.
just, it's the mindset. Like, and no offense, Moody, it's the mindset of like cisgender straight men. It is just the case of we're doing this thing for a good reason, and we are doing it. We know we are doing the right thing, and therefore it is going to be right, and then it's not because it's not. Because you don't have the experiences, you've not talked to anybody who's had the experiences, and here we are talking about it on a podcast. There's a way this game could be made. Like the concept of this game, maybe not with the control moderator controlling someone's streamer's life part. Maybe ditch that, but there's a way this concept of a game can be made tastefully, respectfully, and raise awareness like they want to. This isn't it. This is the opposite of it. Sorry to Alexandra Burton, who's in it. Not so sorry to the people who wrote it, because you should have seen this coming. And just the fact that it's now, like I don't think the response would have quite been at the level it was if it wasn't now that they shot it off during all of the stuff we've been talking about for the last month.
Yeah. That's the thing about it. I think the article says spot on that. The response might not have been as big if it weren't in the part of where the games industry is going through its own Me Too movement right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not forget those people deserve to be listened, so keep on listening.
We've got some announcements, maybe.
Yep.
Start with the reveals, as always. Avengers beta dates have been announced. This is complicated, so bear with me. From August 7th to August 9th, there's a beta for PS4 pre-order customers. And then on August 14th to 16th, there's a beta for all PS4 players and for people who have pre-ordered on PC and Xbox. And then on August 21st to 23rd, there's a beta for everybody.
So this tells me PlayStation have the marketing for this game then.
Yes. Clearly. If you pre-order it on PS4, you get into the first one. If you're on PS4, so I'll probably do the second one. Because I'll just get it on PS4 and play it and do it.
That's right. Spider-Man will turn up on their side, ladies and gentlemen, and not on the Xbox one.
Xbox will get their own character when they announce their Marvel game.
Probably,
yeah. And also the Sims 4 Difty Knitting Stuff Pack is coming to PC, PS4, PC, Xbox One, PS4 on July 28th.
Julio.
We got 2 release dates for Surgeon Simulator 2 is coming to PC on August 29th, and Microsoft Flight Simulator is launching on PC and in Game Pass on August 18th. Comes on 10 DVDs, Moody, if you buy the physical copy. And then you still need to download some stuff too.
People are spoke in the industry, and like some of my teachers as well, they're very excited for this game. Just because of the technology they're using for it.
Yeah.
It's all in the cloud, I believe.
It is. I'm considering giving it a download, like, because I've obviously got Game Pass Ultimate, so I could just download it. Like, they've done it in a way where they've, like, nearly all the airports in the world are being simulated in this game. Like, only, like, 30 of them have been designed, like, in the game. Most of them are just being simulated. But, like, there's a lot of airports in the world. That's impressive. If nothing else.
I bet you they intend to get even more airports eventually.
Yeah, like I'm interested. Like, it looks amazing. I remember the reveal. Was it last E3? Last year's E3, so. Where it was revealed, and I remember looking at it and going, "Oh wow, that looks really fucking good." But yeah, and Surgeon Simulator 2 looks pretty fun too.
A lot of simulators. I didn't think the simulators would be big, but somehow they just are.
Simulators is one of those niche genres, which is like, there's people who just play them all. I mean, Surgeon Sim 2 is a comedy game as opposed to sim like a proper, proper, but you know what I mean, like a serious simulator. Mm-hmm. Got 2 delays Destiny 2 Beyond Light has been delayed to November 10th, and Rogue Legacy 2's early access has been delayed to August 18th.
Calling it now, November 10th, PlayStation 5.
That would be the week before we think the Xbox is coming out. And that happened last year. Last gen. So. So I guess they're extending the seasons and stuff, which is good because I've barely had a chance to get on with all the games that have been coming out over the past couple of weeks. So it's like, I'm like, more time to like get to the content before it gets vaulted.
If I remember rightly, didn't Xbox One, didn't that get 2 release dates? They came in America first, and then 2 weeks later it came over to Europe and UK. If I remember.
I don't know. I remember I only bought the PS4 on launch.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure in the middle, the PlayStation 4 went everywhere. Well, not everywhere. Went America
Xbox,
and in Europe.
If I remember correctly, Xbox did do because Xbox's regional launch is what killed it in Japan. It was the Xbox One is an 8th generation, announced in May. Successor to the Xbox 360. It was first released in North America, parts of Europe, Australia, and South America in November 2013, and in Japan, China, and other China, and other European countries in September 2014. 10 months later. So it came out here and in North America on the same day, and then they waited 10 months to bring it out in Japan. And I'm guessing by other European countries. I think they meant Eastern European countries. Oh. I don't remember, though.
Let's get back to the delays.
Wow. Those were the delays. I made a new category for Game Pass games with gold and PS Plus games. Because there was a bunch of Game Pass games announced. So Carrion is coming to Game Pass on July 23rd on PC and console.
That's the Volvo Digital one, yeah?
The reverse horror game.
Who burped at Phil Spencer.
Yeah, he was with Phil Spencer on the Developer Direct.
That's next week. Okay, good. I remember. I like the look of that game, so I'm gonna give it a try.
Golf, not Gold, as I've typed. Golf with Friends is coming to Game Pass on July 23rd on PC. Grounded game preview is coming to Game Pass on July 28th on PC and console. Yakuza Kiwami 2, which is the remake of Yakuza 2, is coming to Game Pass on July 30th on PC and console. Nowhere Profit is coming to Game Pass on July 30th on PC and console, and The Tourist is coming to Game Pass on July 30th on PC and console. Carrion looks cool. Grounded, it's an early access thing, so probably won't play that for a while. Because I've got a million games to play right now. Game reviewing. Yay. I don't even have Ghosts of Tsushima or Pirate Mario. I haven't even started those yet.
I don't think I'm getting Ghost of Tsushima until the end of next week, so
it's on its way. But it's good because I've been playing like two indie games, so it's fine. In other announcements, the Uncharted movie starring Tom Holland has finally started filming. So this might actually exist.
Sony have come out and says they've
postponed it. They haven't prepped it. All right, Eurogamer lied. Damn you!
No, Sony have come out and said it. I think it was like a day later or whatever.
All right, so it was a thing, and then it's not a thing. All right. Fuck's sake, Sony! Come on.
They're just preparing it. They're gonna start filming probably.
I don't believe this movie is ever going to come out, and this was going to prove me wrong, but now there's still a chance that it won't exist. It's only had 7 directors. Also, the Dragon's Dogma anime adaptation is coming to Netflix this September because apparently we're adapting everything into TV shows now. Go figure. Yeah.
It's as good as Castlevania. I can't say I'm
not complaining. I feel like every week for like a while now it's been Disco Elysium, a TV series, Fallout, a TV series, Dragon's Dogma, a TV series. It's like
Last of Us, Pat.
The Last of Us was TV series. It's like, all right, there's a lot of gaming adaptation TV shows. All of a sudden.
But the thing is, I think
Cuphead.
I think they're doing it.
The animated series is a thing. So.
Bloody hell, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Like, say, Uncharted, I think is set to be better for a movie. But for all those other games, I think a TV series is best for them. so it's going to be the better thing, I think. So yeah, anyway, it's
It's not.
exciting. Hopefully these are going to be great. That's all I want to see.
Look.
A great HBO, a great Last of Us one, a great Dragon's Dogma one, a great Cupheads one, Fallout, and can be.
Yeah, Fallout's setting will make for a great show. It's whether they execute that setting well enough. Like, as far as the Uncharted movie goes, like, they missed the boat on having Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake. And I'll never forgive them for that, because he would have been perfect. He was perfect because they made that thing on YouTube. Not Sony, like, it was a fan-made thing, but that he was actually the perfect Nathan Drake. Because Nathan Drake in Uncharted, he's basically Nathan Fillion. Like, I love Nolan North and I love his performance, but he's just doing a Nathan Fillion in Firefly impression.
Which one came out first? Was it Uncharted
Firefly.
1 or was it?
God, Firefly came out in like 2002, 2001, something like that.
I can't remember. I don't really care who gets cast as long as it's someone who's good. And Tom Holland's good.
Look, right, Firefly came out in 2003. Look, right, Tom Holland's good. The movie's going to be good. Just let me have my moment of being sad that they waited fucking 9 years instead of just filming immediately with Nathan Fillion. But let me also be thankful that they waited 9 years and didn't film with Mark Wahlberg like they were going to at one point. Because that would have been fucking terrible.
Mark Wahlberg is in this.
He is. He's Sully. He'll be a good Sully. He'd be a terrible Nathan Drake.
Yeah, there was no real validity to him becoming Nathan Drake, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to state that for a fact.
Oh my god. I'm never like, right, you're fired, because I want to talk about my movie stuff without a fucking movie podcast and being like, oh, fact check, that the validity of that was never confirmed. Look, right, it was a rumor on the internet.
Yeah.
Fucking 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And this is
Nathan
outside.
Fillion was never going to be the lead for Uncharted because 1, he's too old. 2, they want a legit lead actor for the
How
and
dare you?
Tom Holland is bigger than Nathan Fillion.
Oh, Tom Holland's a big name. Like, I don't give a fuck. Nathan Fillion can carry a movie.
Sony do.
Nathan Fillion can carry a movie.
The crap out of this.
Nathan Fillion can carry a movie. Like, yeah, sure, he's not a massive household name, right? Totally understand that. Nathan Fillion can carry a movie because he fucking did.
Did so well.
Oh,
I do like the film.
Don't be one of those, well, it didn't sell well, so therefore it sucked people. Like, don't.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No. Nathan Fillion. The box office of Serenity does not have any bearing on whether Nathan Fillion can carry a movie or not. I'm talking about acting performance.
He was fantastic, and I'll never deny that.
He carried the movie.
I never said that his acting or that was the quality of it. Then says that.
He carried the movie as the movie's lead character.
Well, he got punched to the ground a lot in it, so
that is A, Nathan Fillion in Firefly, and B, Nathan Drake. Anyway, I have strong opinions about Nathan Fillion being Nathan Drake, but let's move on to the content drop. 1.
Let's talk about the best thing that happened this week.
Yeah, Henry Cavill building a PC. Let's go watch it. I'm not going to explain it any further than that.
It's the greatest thing ever.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's amazing. Like I hope Warner Brothers are truly listening and watching. Like, people love this man, like Warner Brothers. They love him. Truly bring him back as Superman, please. Yeah. We love him. We had never had a problem with Henry Cavill as Superman. We had a problem with the films.
Yeah, someone needs to do.
It's a fantastic movie.
Someone needs to do Henry Cavill as Superman justice because it's such good casting. So it was the same with Brendan Ruth. I never had a problem with Brendan Ruth being Superman. It's just the film he was in wasn't very good. And he got to be Superman again in Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover.
Same Superman. He was the same.
He
one.
was the same Superman. He was awesome. We've also got
his Lois died along with his child.
Yes, it was a great crossover though. Stop giving me the hand. Stop giving me the hand for everything that I love. I don't appreciate it. There's a YouTube video here that I mentioned earlier from Laura Kate Dale. Trans woman discusses Swery, trans representation, and Deadly Premonition 2. If you haven't already thought to go and watch it, the link's in the content drop. Go and watch it. Summer Games Done Quick 2020 schedule's been announced, and there's some really cool looking games on there. So I will definitely be giving that a look. You should have a look at the schedule. I put it in the content drop. There are some really interesting games that I'm really interested to see being speedrun that I've never seen before. And lastly, there's an article from Polygon, which is the black women of the fighting game community are pushing for true inclusivity, which is it's in the title. That's what it's about. Just go check that out because it's a really interesting article about a community that is not having a great time right now. You're leaning forward and it's just your forehead.
Look at my forehead.
Okay. I'll stop looking at your forehead now. Games out this week. There's a few. Because it's July. And apparently that is now... July is now the new May. Go figure. On July 20th, Into the Radius comes to Rift, Quest, and Vive. Into the Radius is a single-player survival shooter for VR veterans. I don't know why specifically it's just for veterans, but okay. Stalk the Pechorsk the radius zone filled with surreal landscapes and dangerous anomalies. Use stealth climbing or realistic firearms to explore, scavenge for loot, and recover strange artifacts in an unforgiving dystopian environment.
I'm not a VR veteran. I can't play this. I'm sorry.
I am, but I'm not going to play it. So I feel like I'm letting everyone down as a VR veteran. I've literally had VR since the day it came out. Wow.
You have said that.
No, it just dawned on me. It was like, wow, I've had VR for 4 years. And I've played maybe 4 games. July 21st, Rock of Ages 3 Make and Break comes to PC, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Google Stadia. Competitive tower defense meets arcade action and gets rolled up with Ace Team's quirky, Monty Python-esque humor into one giant creative game for the ages. This time around, you can even make your own levels. On July 22nd, Necro Barista comes to PC. In a back alley cafe, the dead are granted one last night to mingle with the living. Necro Barista follows a dynamic and diverse cast of characters as they navigate Melbourne's hipstery coffee culture, the questionable ethics of necromancy, and the process of letting go. I've been looking forward to this game for so long. When I saw Route 59's Twitter tweet out the release date for Necro Barista, which was supposed to come out last year, it made my day. I was so happy. And then I retweeted it with the Office gif of, oh my god, it's happening! And then Route 59 liked my tweet, and I was like, yeah. Can I have a code for the game, please? I want to review it. I'll get it either way.
Do it.
Also on July 22nd, Creeks comes to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. The ground starts shaking, light bulbs are breaking, and something rather unusual is happening right behind the walls of your very room, Moody. Your very room. Equipped with nothing but wit and courage, you slowly descend into a world inhabited by avian folk and seemingly deadly furniture monsters. That sounds quite interesting, actually. Then on July 23rd, Carrion comes to PC, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. It's also going into Game Pass, as we mentioned earlier. Carrion is a reverse horror game in which you assume the role of an amorphous creature of unknown origins, stalking and consuming those that imprison you.
I've always wanted to play as the xenomorph in Alien. This is
close. This is close. Also on July 23rd, Crisis Remastered comes to Nintendo Switch. What begins as a simple rescue mission becomes the battleground of a new war as alien invaders swarm over a North Korean island chain. Armed with a powerful nanosuit, players can become invisible to stalk enemy patrols or boost strength to lay waste to vehicles. The nanosuit's speed, strength, armor, and cloaking allow creative solutions for every kind of fight, while a huge arsenal of modular weaponry provides unprecedented control over playstyle. Also on July 23rd, we have Rocky coming to PC. Rocky is an adventure game inspired by Scandinavian folklore, a dark contemporary fairy tale underpinned by a touching narrative, an alluring art style, ancient puzzles, and atmospheric exploration. I'm playing that right now. Not right now, but I am playing it. keep an eye out for my video on Wednesday.
Whoop, whoop.
Lastly, on July 23rd, Paper Beast comes to Rift and Vive, an exploration and adventure game about wildlife sprung from the depths of the internet. An unknown power seems to upset its balance. Join forces with exotic creatures to unravel the mysteries of the universe. Moody! It's time for OpenCritic head-to-head. This is the game we play every single week, where myself and Mr. Moody will guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever gets closest gets 1 point. If you manage to guess the score completely correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Ghost of Tsushima. I guessed it would get an 89. Moody guessed it would get a 90. At the time of recording, Ghost of Tsushima has an OpenCritic average of 85. That puts the current scores at Amy 12, Moody 10 with 2 draws. I've gone back over on myself in terms of draws. I'm fine with draws happening now. Because what I realised when the Ghost of Tsushima score was hovering close to 88, which is what I originally chose last week, I realised that by moving the score up to avoid a draw, I might have cost myself a point. And I was like, I'd rather draws were just a thing. So I've gone completely the opposite direction on draws. What did I guess? I guess closest on Dreams, Warcraft 3, One Punch Man, Half-Life Alyx, Resident Evil 3, Gears Tactics, Legends of Runeterra, Deep Rock Galactic, Manny, and Xenoblade Chronicles, West of Dead, and Ghost of Tsushima. Moody guessed closest on Zombie Army 4, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, XCOM Chimera Squad, Command & Conquer Remastered, Iron Man VR, Deadly Premonition 2. The 2 draws were, of course, The Last of Us Part 2 and SpongeBob SquarePants. I'm not looking forward to reading all of those games at the end of the year when we've done like 50 of them. Moody, this week, we're guessing the OpenCritic average of Carrion. Because I'm already playing like half the games on the fucking release list this week. So, what you got for me?
80.
I'm going with 77. What's it called when the two numbers are the same numbers? I want to say a palindrome, but I don't know if that's just for words or what I'm thinking of. Well, it's a word, a phrase, or a sequence that reads the same backwards as forwards. Close enough. That's what I was going for. And I thought 88 was too high, and I thought 66 was too low.
Yeah, this is the thing. When it came to Ghost of Tsushima, I was flipping between two numbers, 85 and 90.
You chose poorly.
I chose poorly. Yeah, I chose poorly. And turned into an old man in a skeleton by the end of it.
My face.
I want to shout out to Ghost of Tsushima either way. It's getting great reviews and everything like that. I'm really happy for the team and everything. But over there at Sucker Punch, they're sending it. PlayStation, like they've just sent off. They're sending the PlayStation 4 off in an excellent way with The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. And let's not forget Dreams as well. Dreams is the high score in this year.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII. So they've
Persona 5 Royal. Like, it's going out with a bang.
Going out with a heck of a bang. And this is basically the final true big game for them coming out for PlayStation 4. So
the way my PS4 sounded while I was playing Last of Us Part 2, I thought it was going to go out with a literal bang.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to make these fans jokes for much longer. I need to get them in now, under the wire.
PlayStation 5 has a lot of fans.
Unless PlayStation 5 sounds like a fucking jet. Who was it who put the...
They both have been built to not do that, so...
Who was it who put the video out on Twitter of the PlayStation 4 running The Last of Us Part 2, and he was like 2 rooms away across the house and you could hear it. Like the fan going off. Someone put it out. I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah, I never saw that video, so I can't comment on that.
It's right there, Mooney. It's like right next to my fucking head. Like, I'm sitting here playing a game and it's like...
Well, I've got mine's just right here, so just like right here.
Like, any minute now, it's going to be like the next... Like, I just have these visions, and I've seen photo mode for Ghost of Tsushima, and I've just got these visions like I'll be trying to stream Ghost of Tsushima, and it's going to be going so bad, it's just going to be like the fucking shelf's going to start shaking.
I'll say it's just going to fly off. Just go in front of you.
Through the door, I'll just be like, and I'll just be sat there like,
come back. I haven't finished with you yet.
And then I'll get a text, keep the noise down. I'll be like, my PlayStation just exploded.
It flew out the door.
I was trying to be a samurai. I remember, I'm going to tell you a story about one of my Xbox 360s breaking. So I got two, I had three Xbox 360s, like, over the course of that generation. Actually, I've had this PS4 since launch. But one of my 360s broke. I was playing one of the Tomb Raider games. You know, the Crystal Dynamics ones before they rebooted it. And it was a puzzle where you had to do some stuff to drop a rock on something. The Kraken, maybe? It was a Kraken. It was just chilling, blocking your way in the water. And you had to drop something on it to kill it so you could get past. You know, I was just sitting there minding my own business. Play this game. I was in my flat in Leeds at the time. And I did all the stuff. Fucking... And then the rock dropped. There was this big bang. Because the Kraken... It hit the Kraken and the Kraken died. There was this big bang. And then the Xbox did this thing where it went to, like, black screen. And all this technical stuff came up really quickly on the screen. And then it just red ringed. And I was like...
No.
Fun fact. I don't know if I should be admitting this on a podcast, but I didn't send it away for repair. What ended up happening was, there was a bit... And this should tell you about the time period was a bit weird. Like, the early 2010s were a bit weird. Because I bought a replacement for it because it was on sale at Borders, which was a bookshop. They had the Elite console, the black one.
Yeah.
They had that on sale. So I went out and bought that. Because I was like, fuck it. It was a launch model Xbox 360. I'll just buy this Elite console. And then I took the old one that was broken. And I was like, well, we could send it away to get it repaired. But we couldn't be bothered. So we went and we took it to Game. And we were like, here, we want to sell this Xbox. And they said, no, we can't take it because it's broken. Like, they tested it. And I was like, oh, fuck. But what the guy at the Game said, and I can't remember where he told me to take it. I think it was a different game shop. But what he said was, if you take it to this other shop, they don't test their stuff. It might have been CEX at the time. But they told us that it might have been the other way around. We might have gone to CEX. Yeah, Computer Exchange was around then. It was on the corner in Leeds. Just at the top of Briggett. It might have been we took it there first and they tested it. And then they were like, it's broke. And we were like, shit. And then they said, take it to Game because they don't test anything. So we took it to Game. And we went in Game. We said, we want to sell this Xbox. And they were like, yeah, no bother. He has like, I can't remember how much it was. Like, he has like 100 quid for it. And we just went, cool. And we left from the Xbox. We took the money.
Yeah, I think Game for a while, they just stocked themselves with Red Ring of Death Xboxes until they changed their policy of, no, we have to test these consoles now.
Like,
so, yeah.
They bought it off me. Yeah. I don't know. It's a funny story. It came to mind when I was talking about my Red Ring console. The consoles this generation have actually been quite reliable. Like, I don't remember any, like, major, like... Because there was, for the Xbox 360, there was a Red Ring of Death, and for the PS3, there was the Yellow Light of Death. And for the Wii, it was just people throwing nunchucks through their TVs. Or into each other's faces.
That's the people's fault, so that's not their fault.
Yeah, there's some great videos on... There was a website dedicated to that, I remember. Nintendo Wii accidents. I'll be honest, the first time I played Wii Bowling, I bowled my nunchuck into the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just threw it over. It just went bang, and then it came back down. I was like, oh, that's why there's a strap.
Seriously.
I've got another funny story about my Nintendo Wii, actually, if you want to hear that. While we're doing
Why
this
not?
post-show discussion. So when the console came out, for months, I was like, I'm not going to buy it. I've got a GameCube. I can play Twilight Princess on the GameCube. Why do I want a Wii? Anyway, you know how this story goes. Eventually I was like, no, actually, I really do want a Wii. And they're like super rare. Like, if you think like Switches or PS4s or Xbox Ones were ever hard to come by, let me tell you something about Wii. Someone at my work, someone where I worked was looking for one for Christmas for a kid. And I offhandedly mentioned that I had one and it was great. And she offered me £600 for it. As no joke. Console was $250. I'm pretty sure it was like $250. It was not an expensive console. But because she wasn't going to be able to get one in time for Christmas, she knew I had one. She offered me a shitload of money for it. I said no. I regret that decision a lot every day.
You broke that kid's heart.
Look, let me tell you how I got the Wii. And then maybe you can talk about how hard I worked to get this console. So the day before launch day, I had a day off from work, right? And I was going around all the different shops in the city where I was living, which I believe was Bolton at the time. And I was going around all the different shops. Oh, and I have lived in a lot of different places, just FYI.
You've said Leeds once already, and now Bolton. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I've lived all over the country.
Yes,
so I was going around all these different shops, like, have you got any Wii's I can, like, buy? Like, to, like, you know what I mean? Like, to get tomorrow. Like, are you getting any in, basically, in stock? Went, like, all over, all the game shops, all the electrical shops. No. Ended up at this big Toys R Us. That was in, like, because, like, where I lived, like, between where I lived and walking to the town centre, there was a retail park. So I went, as I was coming back, there was a Toys R Us and a Comet and a couple other places at this retail park. Anyway, we tried Toys R Us last. Do you have a Wii? Are you going to get Wii's? Yeah, we're getting 10. Like, free stock. So they had pre-orders for people who had pre-ordered it. But they were getting 10 to buy on the day. And I was like, cool, how do I get one? You have to queue up. And, like, wait till the shop opens. And I was like, cool, what time do you open? 9 o'clock? Right. Like, and you know what, Moody? I would have queued all fucking night. But I had to leave for work at, like, 5:30 in the next morning. So I was like, I'm in a conundrum here. I have an opportunity, right? I have an opportunity to get a Wii. But I don't know what to do. So as I'm walking home, contemplating, like, just not going to work. So I'm like, I'm going to stand outside Toys R Us all night. I got home, and Russell, actually, I was living with Russell at the time. And he goes, and I got so, and he just woke up because he worked really weird shifts at a cinema. At the time. And I went, yo, can you do me a favour? And he went, what's the favour? And I went, I'm leaving for work tomorrow at 5:30. Can you come with me? Like, we were going to leave early and go to Toys R Us and see what the queue is like. And if there's less than 10 people, will you queue up and buy my Wii if I give you my debit card? Yeah, no bother, mate, not a problem. Just make sure you wake us up. Like, cool, no worries. So I woke him up. We went down at like 5 o'clock in the morning. There was 4 people who had been waiting all night, and they were super pissed that they had literally waited all night because we were the next people to turn up at like 5:15. And they'd been camped out, and they were like, fuck's sake, we waited all night and we could have just turned up. Like now. Anyway, it turns out like 100 people ended up turning up by the time 9 o'clock turned around. So I gave my mate my card and I said, look, here's the card, here's the pin. Like, just get me the console. Like, I'm not even bothered about packages, just get me the console. So I went to work and I was trying to pull a delivery through the guts of a shopping centre, through the back doors with a pallet truck and massive pallets and stuff on the phone because they'd just come out with the catalogs with all the packages, and he was going through all the packages for me, like, you get this one, you could get this and this, and like, eventually it was just get me one with Zelda, and anything else is a bonus. So, yeah, no worries. And then I got a text message at like 9:30. Got your Wii. This was in like way back in the day, like 2005, 4. So that was it wasn't like picture messaging because that was way too expensive. And I got back in the house at like 5:00, whatever time it was, and literally Zelda was on. Russ was asleep on the couch with the Wii stuff in his hand. So I woke him up. I was like, "You got it?" It's like, "Yeah, I got you Zelda. I got you Wii Sports. I got Wii Play because it came with an extra remote." And I was like, "Fucking mint." And then he went, "Here's the receipt. I also bought myself a chocolate bar for 40p." And I picked the receipt up and I went, "Mate, you stood in line for me for hours to buy a Wii. You could have spent way more than 40p and I wouldn't have been pissed." And then he looked at my card on the table, looked up at me and went, "Can I go back?" And I went, "No." Pick the card up. Let's play Wii. Let's play Wii Sports.
Respect to Russell. Respect.
Like,
Russell,
yeah.
Russell.
He just went, "Yeah, no bother. I'll stand outside in the freezing cold, November,
With random strangers
in the northwest, where it always rains in the northwest every day, with random strangers who were a bit weird, and bought me a Wii with my money, but he bought me the Wii. Like, he bought the Wii for me. Crazy. Anyway, that took way longer. The story took way longer than I thought.
Very good. Yeah, that's what it is. The post show is having random chats over nothing, basically.
I don't have a special story about buying a PS3 because I never bought one. My ex bought one while we were living together. I played 2 games on it. Then we broke up, and she took it with her. That was I played Heavy Rain, and I played Prototype. Didn't like Heavy Rain.
Oh, I enjoyed Heavy Rain. I liked Heavy Rain.
Prototype was okay. And then that was it. I never saw it again. I was playing Red Dead at the time on Xbox. That's going to do it.
Take up a lot of life.
It did took like 3-4 months of my life. And for some of those months, I was unemployed. That's going to do it. Funnily enough, I had the PS3. I was living in London. Just to continue the whole, like, I've living in weird places.
I've lived in the northeast, the northwest, the central. Now it's in London.
That's going to do it for episode 215 of the Words About Gamescast. I think we've had a good episode.
I think it's been pretty productive. There's no doubt about it.
The doom must be coming because we've had a fairly nice episode.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we have a nice episode,
I won't lie.
Yeah, when we have a nice episode, usually the doom is coming just around the corner.
Oh, so that means the Xbox event next week's going to suck in it.
Well, usually doom is worse than that. So it would be something that they would do at the Xbox event. I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah, by Warner Brothers Activision. Warner Brothers Interactive.
Do you have any parting words of wisdom?
Play The Last of Us 2, ladies and gentlemen. It is a masterpiece. It is a fantastic game. Support Microsoft. I think they're doing they deserve some love. I think they're doing everything that is for the gamers, and that's all that you guys want. You complain about how Activision do stingy things, 2K, EA, and everything. Microsoft deserves some love, so give them some love. Watch their event. Make it a PlayStation hit on Twitch. I'm pretty sure I watched it on Twitch. Their event, 1 million people watched it at a certain time, and had over 1 million people watching it. Now, let's get the numbers up there for them on this Thursday. Let's hit 1 million people on Twitch alone watching this. Let's give them some love, because they do nothing but everything they're doing is for you, for us.
Does that mean they're going to make Bloodborne 2?
Everything they're doing is for you and us, except Amy. Well,
that makes sense. I have some pretty unreasonable demands.
PlayStation might be doing Bloodborne 2. Who knows?
Oh fuck! I've given up on them doing Bloodborne 2.
It's From Software. Only the ones who are going to do it. I don't think PlayStation want anyone else to do it except From Software. So it all depends how busy From Software are.
Yeah. Still sad though. Boo. Say bye, Moody.
Bye, Moody.
Bye, Moody.